So I'd like to present some use cases, some things which are already happening, and probably it's new or of interest to the audience here. So thank you, Chair, Mr. Saraswat, for organizing this, and all my panel members. My name is Raghav Jaiswal, representing Siemens Energy, and I'm trying to bring in focus a piece of hydrogen value chain, which is not being much talked about. I mean, previous session, if you attended, was all about electrolyzer and a lot of hydrogen being produced. Now, where do we go from there? I mean, hydrogen produced being the lightest gas with lowest volumetric energy density, right? Hydrogen is not highest energy density in terms of volumes, which is a challenge. What do we do with that hydrogen? And therefore, one piece after electrolysis, which is going to be very crucial, is compression. And since this session is about pathways, there are several pathways, and I like the plural about this approach, because each pathway would be suited for a particular country, for a particular business. It cannot be imitated or emulated. That's one thing which is becoming very clear, and India or our policymakers would also have to choose which one is the pathway which India or Indian industry can contribute the most. And from an oil and gas past, right, we know we could not produce oil. We could not dig our land and find oil. We were not lucky. But then today, look at the refining industry. Indian Oil, my colleague is sitting there, and we have become a refining powerhouse. So can we look into what we have achieved in the past and see how in this hydrogen value chain we can make or use this experience and expertise and make a similar difference? And that's where compression comes in. Most of the refining processes, if you're aware of, is a lot of rotating equipment, a lot of energy conversion taking place from one form to the other. And the same approach would be valid for hydrogen as well. Hydrogen, as I said, in its elemental form, it's in abundance in this universe, but what have we done for thousands and millions of years? Nothing. Time has come when we want to do something about it. And therefore, I'll present a use case, just one use case, with your permission, Mr. Saraswat, which exemplifies what we can do in a place in Chile, in the middle of nowhere. And that project is called Haruani. It's information is available on website. It's not, something which only Siemens Energy is proud of. There are several stakeholders in that project, and I'd like to briefly talk about it. But in case one of you is not aware of what Siemens Energy is, we were carved out of Siemens, the larger Siemens Corporation, as everybody knows, the conglomerate, to become an integrated energy technology company. And that's the mission we are living. We want to energize society on a larger level, but you could see our portfolio includes large gas turbines. We have wind turbines, so we are covering the renewable side. We have steam turbines. We have small and medium gas turbines. And then once we generate the electricity and the power, which, proudly we are like 1/6 production of electricity on the planet is by Siemens Energy, we also want to transmit it efficiently. So there is a transmission business in between called grid technology, and at the bottom of it is where all the application is taking place, which is the transformation of industry, which I think is something which us, as Indian industry and stakeholders should think about, because this is already existing, and we can be participating in this transformation much strongly, because this is a strength. There are going to be many producers, as people talked about. Morocco is thinking about it. Oman, no dearth of land, no dearth of sun. Then if you talk about Abu Dhabi, again, they have lots of wind, and they are now getting nuclear. So everybody's combining and mixing and matching. Now, India has to foresee where would we fit in tomorrow. It cannot be that, look, we cannot really compete with Oman, because eventually the export markets could be ending up in Europe. So the case which I'm presenting, I'm coming back to it again, is the first one. There's no time for the rest of it. And this is not a sales pitch. I'm just trying to take inspiration from what Chilean government has achieved and policymakers. This is the Haruoni project. You could visualize middle of nowhere. All this place is symbolizing is that it's probably the best wind conditions throughout the year and lots of sun. So solar and wind is in abundance. So water and wind energy needs to be harnessed. And there's going to be many such places in India also. It's not going to be surprising. In fact, we might be more fortunate. And what is happening here is eventually after production of hydrogen through electrolysis, because of renewable power being there, you could produce green hydrogen. Conversion of that hydrogen into usable form, and in this case, it's being converted into e-methanol as well as e-fuels. And the chain doesn't stop there. It can, and this is an elaborate schematic there, but you could see on the right side, methanol synthesis, e-gasoline or e-petrol is also being produced, and the off-taker is none other than Porsche. Porsche cars, because now Porsche can compete with electric vehicles without dumping their great engine technology, right? They can still continue to use their mechanical engine. So such opportunities are getting real in this world, where each country is trying to define its own pathway, and I think this is some good opportunity or good forum to think on those lines, because this data download is tremendous. I mean, and I'm no match to the learned panel here. Everybody has got it. We probably run the risk of losing ourselves in this data download. All we have to see is that if you've done well in mechanical industry, and I think my Black & Veatch colleague pointed out that, look, compression, it's an important piece, right? Because you have a rare, dense, very light gas, which is rarefied. What do we do with that? And you'll find at every stage, the black and white piece is compression. So this is the hidden, link of the value chain. All the colorful things are, electrolyzers, this, that, but compressors, be it turbo or reciprocating, is, you would see, invariably figuring in there. So can we give more impetus to this industry in the country? And we can do that. This is mechanical engineering. This is not something which we are not familiar with. You could see, again, another diagram, and there is a great emphasis of hydrogen being changed into useful form. And it doesn't stop with ammonia. We also talked about, and I was just sharing before the session with Ms. Bedi, that there are liquid organic hydrogen carriers, right? The hydrogen would get absorbed in an organic compound and get released wherever we want to. Say Japan, which has shortage of everything, could be one of those off-takers of LOHC. And good assurance here is that this hydrogen compression is not a new technology. And it's not speaking only for Siemens Energy. I have my partner sponsor here, Newman SR as well. And there are many, many suppliers who are already having good experience of hydrogen compression. No matter how flammable and critical this technology is, there is experience available, and we can build on it. And you'd be surprised to know, 20, 30 years back, the hydrogen pipeline was built in the US, and it is working, it's realized, and all we need to now do is scale it up and bring it to the green hydrogen economy. Last slide, I would say, not making a sales pitch, where do we go from here? Because there is an existing technology, but there should be advancement of technology also. Since hydrogen takes lots of stages for compression, for the reason which I just mentioned, we need to improve our technology. And Siemens Energy has already tested an advanced turbo compressor, where what we are able to achieve could shrink the size of compressor if we are talking about a single shaft compressor, and do the same work in lesser number of casings. Now that's a huge value add, because from a point of electrolyzer discharge, say 0 bar or 8 bar kind of unit of pressure, to taking it to a storage, 30 bar to 100 bar, there's a lot of compression. And it's going to take the same energy from your renewable production, which is so precious. So, you know, the whole thing I want to emphasize is that, yes, electrolysis, great, a lot of discussion on it, but it's an age-old technology. We know it, everybody's read about it in the book. It starts from there. But let's also look at the value chain, which is going to be energy-consuming equipment, right, to make this hydrogen dream a reality. And, you know, these are some of the, yeah, please, yeah, this is done for it. Thanks, thanks everyone for your time.